Centre, everybody. We're really excited to have you here today, and that's mainly because it means that you are thinking about what your running goals are over the next few months or the next year, or you're just beginning your running journey and needing a place to start. And just want to tell you that this is the right place for you to be starting.
And today we are privileged to have one of our marathon schoolers from last year, Amanda Cutlack, who just completed her first marathon this year. So
August at the Brisbane Marathon Festival.
That's right.
And we're also, I guess, when you are starting a new journey, Steve, we've seen a lot of runners come through, and it can be quite a daunting process in first starting out, like not knowing where to start, or even being a bit fearful of starting.
Yeah, and I think that the whole marathon school program is sort of designed around nurturing people and helping them through to a really challenging goal that they might not have thought that they could achieve.
So we were going to have a chat with Amanda, because she has quite a journey from the very beginning, and we're really excited to hear your story. But before we do, just want you to know that after you have enjoyed listening to Amanda, make sure you email us if you would like to get the Ready, Set, Go Run checklist, which is a great little checklist to get you going and finding out, well, where am I at with my running now and how to get started. And then, of course, if you go to INTRAINING Running Centre's website to the Marathon School program, you will see a lot more interesting and inspiring stories. So Amanda, we might kick it off, and we're just looking at photos of you crossing the line in the Brisbane Marathon Festival this year in August. What was the feeling you had that you were leading up to that line, knowing you were about to become a marathoner?
Sheer elation at the end of it. My run was 6 hours and 32 minutes. I've never run that distance before, and I'd never pushed myself to that distance before, and I don't think I would have been able to do it without having the in-training support set up for me to be able to do it. But really, there was a mixed emotions for me, but more than anything, it was just elation that I had finished, that I had accomplished my goal, which I'd set a year earlier. And I just felt that, I just couldn't believe it. I honestly couldn't believe it. It was just amazing. And then when I got to the end, and my trainer from who I started out with my running journey with, Liz Lovering, she ran down, and I got a hug, and you were there, and you're at the finishing line, and it was like, you did it, and you're a marathoner, and I'm just like, I am. And it was just great. It was just such it was just such elation. It was just like, there's nothing to describe it, really. There is nothing to describe it. It was just amazing. Yeah.
So what was it that inspired you to take on such a big, challenging goal in the first place?
Watching other runners, really. Competing in, your local park runs, and, your little 5K runs. It was more really, the first run that I ever did was the Women's International Run. And I saw the crowd, I saw everyone cheering everybody on. There were some really good runners there. There were some fast ones. There was, new runners, mums with prams. And I thought to myself, I think I could go that little bit further. How far could I actually go? And then that's when I started making those tiny little goals to think, okay, I can run 5K. Can I do 10? Could I do 21? But at that stage, at that early stage, the marathon, I really thought to myself, I'm really going to have to, look at my training goals, look at my training, look at my nutrition, and really, really work hard to achieve that goal later on down the track. So that's basically where it all sort of started from, that first run where I was hot and I was sweaty, I was uncomfortable, chafing. I experienced a lot in that 5K run, and I just thought, I've got a lot to learn, and I've got to get myself some form of education, join a running school, which I did, joined INTRAINING, which was fantastic, and yeah, it basically went from there. They basically gave me the tools to achieve every goal from the 5 to 10, yeah, all of them really. It was brilliant.
So you started in 2015
Yeah.
at your first park run, and back then, did you actually think that you would ever run a marathon?
No, I physically thought to myself, there is no possible way that I could do it. I remember it was 35 minutes 10 for my first park run, and I have never felt so uncomfortable in my life. Never, ever, ever felt that uncomfortable. I'd never pushed my legs to that limit. I had never, there's just no words to describe it. It was just unbelievably uncomfortable. It was just.
So at some point there must have been a time when you started to feel a bit more comfortable, and then suddenly find yourself actually enjoying the running?
It did happen. It did happen. It didn't happen with parkrun. It actually happened many months later, where I ran the Twilight Wyndham Bay Run, and I knew then that I had hit a turning point, because that was my first 10k run, and I had gotten to about 6k's, and I thought to myself, I can't remember the last 3k's I've done. Because I've just like, where did that go? And then I just kept on going. And at the end of the race, I had someone had spoken to me and said, you know, how'd your run go? And I said, oh, really good. And they said, oh, so what did you think about, you know, that, you know, 3k, 4k turn? You know, I was just enjoying it. I was just having fun. And, you know, I just forgot that I was running. And that's when I really felt, hang on a minute, I can class myself as a runner, because I'm running and not knowing it, and I'm enjoying it. And yeah, that was my turning point. That's when I knew, hang on, I could go that little bit further. And yeah, but I just needed the help and the guidance to be able to do it.
Joining the INTRAINING Marathon School, what do you feel like that gave you as a runner?
It gave me the ability to be able to push myself to that next level. I needed to make sure that my nutrition was correct. I needed to make sure that my fitness was up to par, as in making sure that I was having the correct long runs. I was practicing with my hill runs. I basically learnt that I covered all aspects that I needed to be able to accomplish that goal. And yeah, just by going to the sessions, and also like the information in training sessions, it really helped me listen to other runners and absorb that information to be able to succeed in my ultimate goal, really, and that was to run my first marathon.
So that very first session that you go along to, a lot of people feel like, you know, do I really belong here? How's it going to work out? Were you a bit nervous in the beginning?
I was excited.
Yeah.
I was excited straight from the word go. Once I'd seen your website, I just went, right, this covers everything. It ticks all the boxes. And when I drove down and I saw Liz standing outside a car, I thought to myself, radio, she looks fit. Looks extremely fit. Okay, how's this going to go? And I was just greeted with this huge smile and this huge welcoming, and you know, fantastic. My name's Liz. I'm so glad you're here. You know, what would you like to get out of running? And yeah, our running relationship really started from there, and I was just welcomed from the word go. I felt I was in a comfortable environment. Other runners that also join that our group have really become like members of a family. You know, we talk about everything, from kids to our running to, you know, our families, what our goals are. So have we accomplished our goals? You know, do we need to help each other to accomplish, you know, goals? So yeah, it's quite a tight-knit community. There's not many of us, but you know, we're proud of our group, and we've got a fantastic trainer. And yeah, it's a great little support system.
It's not just the coach, is it? It's actually all the other people that have either been through the school before or just have some more experience, or maybe even they're just going through the same thing as you.
Absolutely.
It's great to be able to share that experience with other people.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because everyone's running experience is different. It's never the same. You can plan as much as you like for any event that you're going to do, but the outcome is going to be different for everyone. And it's interesting to hear other people's stories, so then you can that can help your development into succeeding. And you know, if you're keeping an eye on your end result, as in you know, your time, or you want to better your pace, you know, that's those little tools and techniques that they can teach you. As you know, it's just. It's brilliant.
And so with the marathon school, we have sessions all over Brisbane, and you've got the group that you're involved with at Cleveland. And then we come together for the seminars, come together for the long runs. How did you find that component of it when you came together with the rest of the group?
I found it, well, we're all under the same umbrella. We all want to accomplish really the same goals. We all want to become really good runners. It made it quite accessible. The program is quite accessible for any age, any health problems that you may have. You know, it can be worked around. The timetable of having the running schools all over Brisbane, if you couldn't make it to one running session, you could quite easily make it to another. And each running session is slightly different. When I was running over at New Farm, they had some hill sessions there. Out our way down at Cleveland, we don't have many hills, so therefore it was great to be able to work out your own running program within the program, and to meet up once a month and tell your story with other runners, and to get information that was going to help you and to help others was just great. Because if other members couldn't make it to that training session or that seminar, you could quite easily take the paperwork back and say, look, this is what you've missed out on, you know, this is what it was all about, you know, and you could just relay that information. So we really worked as a team to be able to help each other, you know, really be successful in running our goals. And it was good. I found it very easy. There's really no reason why you can't run during the week. It really didn't make it difficult at all. It was all of the runs are very easy to get to. There's no reason. There's just no reason at all. You've just got to run.
And is there like a last tip that you can give for somebody who might be considering doing a marathon?
Just go with it. And run happy. Just run happy. Just enjoy it. Just enjoy every minute of it. I found, particularly for myself, that if I was focused just on running alone, focused on a time, I wasn't enjoying it. Where I had those runs where I looked up and looked around and thought, wow, this is really enjoyable. This is really fun. And you know, within those times too, like I would have fellow runners running beside me, and we'd be having a chat. and oh, isn't the weather great? And you know, you look like you're running really well, and you know, you cheer each other on, and you know, it's just, you just feel fantastic when you've been given that boost of confidence from people that you don't even know, and it's just amazing. It's really amazing. And anyone can do a marathon. Anyone can. If you've got the right building blocks, you can do it.
The right support network as well.
Absolutely. If you've got the building blocks, you've got the support, you've got that information to be able to do anything. And that's why we do have, you know, the marathon runners, and we have the ultra trail runners, and you know, because once you've got those building blocks, the start of those building blocks, you are just, it's endless. It's absolutely endless. And you know, once you start feeling fantastic, it's just going to flow. It's going to flow in your workplace. It's going to flow in your family life. It's just going to ooze, you know, throughout, you know, even within the community. Like you're just going to be confident, happy, and you're just going to enjoy life. So, you know, it's definitely, running's definitely changed my life. Yeah, and it's everyone should never think that they can't do it, because they can.
Well, thanks so much for coming in. Do you have any other questions for Amanda? Or?
No, but yeah, it's been really wonderful talking to you, and we look forward to having you part of Marathon School again this year.
Yeah, to see how your runs go for next year as well.
Yes,
in your next marathon.
Yeah, I'm very excited. So yeah, but thank you, Margot and Steve, for having me. It's been, I felt privileged to sort of go through the journey and then be asked to do an interview about my story. It's quite amazing. I'm lost for words. But no, it's been a great journey. It's been a great journey.
So we have the Marathon School starting again in January.
January 28th is the launch for the INTRAINING Marathon School.
So if you're interested, come along on the Sunday morning and find out all about it, and talk to all the coaches and a few of the other runners like Amanda who've done the Marathon School before.
But in the meantime, don't forget to go to the INTRAINING Marathon School page on the INTRAINING website, and also there will be the download of the Ready, Set, Go Run Pro guide to help you get started for your own running journey.
Thank you. Well, thank
Thanks so
you
much,
so
Amanda.
much. It's just been an amazing journey, and yeah, I look forward to many more years of running.
Yes.
Good.